All right, I have two more questions to talk about with the data representation part of the test. So I'm going to buzz through these two questions really quickly, and this will just wrap up part two really quick. So IOD 601. With IOD 601, that skill is compare or combine data from a simple data presentation with the data from a complex data presentation. So basically, you're taking information from one chart or graph and applying it to another table or graph to determine the conditions that might have certain results. So on this example that I gave you guys, IOD 601, what would be the metabolic rate at a core temperature of 34 degrees Celsius? So again, we can't find that using just one figure. We have to go and convert the Celsius to Fahrenheit and then use this chart. So 34 degrees Celsius, we locate that on this side, we follow it over, we go down and figure out what the temperature would be in degrees Fahrenheit. We take that temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, we go over and we figure out what, if this, for example, if this were the temperature, what would be the metabolic rate at that temperature? We follow it over to this side, and that would be your answer. So again, you can see as we get to these higher level skills, we have to use multiple charts and do multiple steps in order to, figure out an answer. Our last question here that goes with the data representation part of the test is an EMI question. It's EMI 501. And this skill is determine which simple hypothesis is or is not consistent with two or more data presentations or information from text. So this is a tough question. Basically, which hypothesis would be most consistent with the data presented? So the way I framed it up for this example question, a person who has hypothyroidism does not produce enough thyroxine hormone and thus has a lower than normal metabolic rate. If 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit is normal body temperature, write a hypothesis or determine which hypothesis would accurately predict the basal body temperature of a hypothyroid patient immediately upon waking up. So again, I'm sticking with that style that we use, that if there's a connection or if this science is true, then this type of an individual will have these results. So we need to understand a little bit if they don't have enough thyroxine hormone. And again, when you're choosing which hypothesis is correct here, you need to look at the reasoning and the overall prediction, as well as the structure of how the hypothesis is written. So again, that is a little bit higher level question. It ties in information from the graph and how well you can really understand some of this stuff after. And this question is much easier after you've done some of the simpler questions as well. But again, that is definitely a challenging question. And that's it for data representation.